boys and girls, welcome to part 2. I hope you enjoyed making your first bit of very simple weavings. Now we're going to take it to the next level. So if you've finished your weaving, if you'll remember, mine is cool color, warm color, cool color, cool color, warm color, cool color, cool color, warm color. On it goes. And I spent a lot of time thinking about that. You got it on the first one. But now if I wanted to, I could say I'm all done. I would glue these down and I would trim these off. But I'm not sure I'm done. I mean, this is very nice, but I think I could get a little bit more pizzazz here. So I started looking at it and I thought, what would happen if I took a strip of green paper and put it where it would show really well on that yellow paper and made a whole new pattern. What do you think? I could do it again. This is a 1/2-inch strip. I'm just going to cut it in half. Personally, I like it when it's a free-form cut because it gives it more character. This one would go here. Yeah, what do you think? I kind of like that. So if I did really think that was great, I would keep carrying it all the way through to the next one. Maybe instead of using paper to change my colors, I could think of something else. I might say, I'm going to do this pattern, but I'm going to put a white bean in a row. I want you to notice. All right, I could glue those down. I would skip a row and then I would glue these down. Now, as you can see, I'm making a whole different pattern with a different element on the paper. Ooh, isn't that a great word, element? This is just like math. We're doing all these wild patterns. I don't think I like that, so I'm not going to glue them down. The other thing I might notice, we've been doing a lot of work with shapes, that I have a square. All sides are of equal length. Square, 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 square. I might decide, I know that a square is 2 triangles put together. So I might say, I think I'm just going to make a triangle with a pen. I'm not going to use paper. I'm going to draw right on my paper. I've made a whole new pattern now. Now you can see my weaving is starting to take on a little bit different sort of pattern. Wow. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is not just weave, but look further into what you think might look right. If I did all of this and said, I hate that, I've ruined it, all you have to do is pull this out. I can still use the other side and weave it back on, and I don't have to give up the whole piece. Anything you don't like until it's glued down isn't going away. Okay? So I want you to have fun with these. Do anything you can think of that's different. Put different pieces in, draw on it. You can glue things. Think about your shapes. This is a square. We could put a circle in the middle of all the purple ones and change it again. Every time we add a new element, we're going to change the pattern. So just have fun. I want you to have fun with this. Okay. The next thing that you got was the same thing with 1/2-inch strips. Same idea. You're going to fold it in half, cut on the folded side, and you're going to make a whole bunch of 1/2-inch strips, just like you did the other one. And then you're going to weave them. If you want to weave with 1-inch strips, these on a 1/2-inch, you absolutely can. If you want to cut these in half, and use 1/2-inch strips, you absolutely can. This is a sample of a piece. The background is brown, not purple. You can see I cut 1/2-inch. These are the 1/2-inch strips cut. But I decided to use different size strips to weave. Cool, cool, warm. Cool, cool, warm. I like that pattern, I guess. And here I noticed when I use a 1-inch strip on the 1/2-inch, I get a, what shape is it? Rectangle. This is starting to sound like math again, huh? I get a rectangle and a square and a rectangle and a square, and suddenly I have all new patterns again. Like the other one, I can decide that I want to put another piece of paper woven in through that. I might want to introduce a new color. I might want to put a black strip in or a blue strip in. I just wonder, how would I decide? I'm just going to goof around here. Let's see. This is how I decide. I try it and see if I like it. What happens with the blue? Well, that sort of disappears, but it's not bad. What do you think? Do you like it? I kind of like it. And you know what I've noticed is now I have a long rectangle and 2 little rectangles. I could put it on the orange. It'll be very bright there. What do I think of that? Wow, that's a pretty great pattern. Play with your colors. Play with your shapes. You can color in your shapes if you want. You can use crayons. You can use pens. You can glue things all kinds of ways. 1/2-inch slits, 1-inch. Please play. Play, play, play. Now, when I get all done with this and I say, oh, I love this. Oh, wait. I'm going to do something else first. So hold on. We'll come back to this. What if I said, I love all these colors, but I want to do like my own thing. I want it to be me. I could make my own paper strips. And that is what these pieces of cardboard that I gave you, these white heavier paper, are for. I'm going to take those and I am going to just make some scribblies, scrobblies with crayons. I gave all of you crayons, so I know everybody has them. Watch this. If I take some of this netting that I had on my oranges and I color on top of that, I get a pattern. Hard to see with that yellow. I'll use the red. I get a pattern that starts to show up. There it is. So I could make this look all different ways. And as you can see, I'm just getting crazy. What I need, let's see, let's get some purple going over here. I could make it smooth now. I think that's enough of that. All right, let's put a little purple down here. What do you think? I think we need a little bit of yellow. I'm not spending a lot of time on this because I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to cut it. And I'm going to cut the strips that wide. Oh, maybe I'll cut this one wider. Maybe I'll make it like 1-inch strips. I'm just guessing. I don't know exactly. It's close. This is what they call estimating. And I know all of you have been practiced estimating in math. I'm going to make a skinny one again. Okay, once I have my strips made, you can keep going. You keep doing this. Well, that's kind of pretty. What happens if I take my different strips on my 1/2-inch paper and I weave them with strips that I made? You can see you start getting a whole nother look. This is my 1/2-inch paper. Now this one, if I push it this way, because I know this will get cut off, I have my orange in the middle. If I pull it this way, my oranges are going to be on the other side. So I'm going to really look. I'm going to really, really look at what I'm doing. This one has to come up and go down. when I do my weave, this one I think it would be fun to do the weaving in these colors all different ways. So you can see how that's going to go. You can see I would have to keep weaving. It's going to go through there. The other thing I did do, just so you can see different ways to decorate, I love this. I think that's going to be beautiful when it's woven in, is I took a piece of paper. All of you have some of this. I took my paints. These are watercolors. I gave all of you some tempera paints. Please mix them. You don't need to use them just as one way. Take the brush that I gave you, and you can just make your own paints with watercolors. And I'm not worrying about what's going where. These are going to definitely be all the warm colors, aren't they? Got lots of water. If you have watercolors, you can use them. If you have acrylics, you can use those. The green will need to be up here. It won't want to go anywhere else. Let's put some blues in here. So I want you to just have fun. You get the idea. You don't need to watch me sit here making these. I'm going to grab a little bit of purple. I love purple. But not too much. I want you to notice I'm not being real picky. I'm sort of going with the flow. So I don't, unless you have so much fun doing this, don't spend a lot of time. Cut them. And you have more strips that you can weave. That's what this paper is for. Please enjoy it and use it. Hopefully you haven't cut it up and used it for something else already. And on the sample that I showed you, this one, I was going every other color. I was following a pattern. Crayon, watercolor. Crayon, watercolor. Crayon. I need to do a watercolor. And I picked those because they're a little softer look than the crayons. You can see the crayons have a little harder look. I don't know how else to describe it, but they're more open. It doesn't cover as fully. So then if I wanted to continue my pattern, I would. At some point, after I had the whole thing woven, I would say, oh, I'm done. I'm finished. I need to frame it. When I'm ready to frame a piece, what I'm going to need to do then is cut off all, let me get this one done. I may not be able to, huh? No, I'm not going to get it done. I'm just going to pull it out. When you have your whole piece done and you think you're ready, you like everything the way it is and it's perfect, cut off the pieces that stick out on the sides. Take a little bit of glue, dot of glue, and glue them down. Do it on all the sides so it's one continuous piece. Glue these down. Glue these down. It's because it was white paper and not colored on the other side. Look at that. You got a whole nother pattern happening here. So that's another fun thing you can do. When you're ready to frame, I gave all of you a white paper frame. It is smooth on one side and sort of bumpy on the other. If you use the not bumpy side, you can do watercolors or paints on them. Crayons will work really well on them as well as markers. So this one I did the same thing I did with my paper. I just smushed up my watercolors and I said, well, there you go. That is all the colors that are showing in here. And here I've decorated the frame. All I have to do is glue it on and I'm done. And that is some of the variations you can do. There was one more, so stay tuned for number 3. We're going to talk about translucence and opaque things and what role light has to play on art. See you in a while.